Hello and welcome to an episode of The Card Show. I'm on my own this week after back-to-back weeks with guests. It was just fun to do. This is the week before the Scotland Card Show, and obviously we had Jordan from Caledonia Events, Scotland Card Show Collectors Showcase CEO, founder, head honcho on. Looking forward to that next week. Looking to do a little last time I went, so a little meet up. So last time I went to the Scotland Card Show was in Glasgow. There's a meet up. We did one on the Edinburgh one as well. It was kind of a bit different because I was obviously rooming with Sports Card UK. I met BP up there. He came quite late as well. Dan was really late, so yeah, it was less of a meet up, but we also got some food, drinks, etc. Did the same the following night. But on the first one in Glasgow, I remember it was MGC, Trotters, a few of us came down to, I think it's Ibis Hotel. So I'm going to double check for the hotel just to make sure. But it had, like I'd say ground level bar, restaurant, and a pool table, lots of stuff. It was kind of a chill vibe. So I'm going to see if that's still an option and maybe do something there night before because, why not, hey? Meet people, talk cards, maybe get some trades done, maybe some buy, sell, meets, etc. It'll be fun. But yeah, I'll probably put a post on that in the next few days. If probably by the time this comes out, I probably should have done a post already. But yes, I will. Big show coming up at the end of the week. My first one for a while. This sort of stuff. The thing with London, I think I should be at London Card Show in August. I can sort of make a trip out of it a little bit. One obviously better for financials because if I say it's a trip and I enjoy more outsiders going over a card show and there a bit longer, then you don't sort of mind having the expense because you enjoyed yourself. If I was to spend see London's 3 days of a show now. I go on a Friday anyway, so it's not too much of a difference. But you got the Friday travel, accommodation Friday night, food, drinks throughout Friday, same again Saturday, right? Part of the travel, you got the accommodation for Saturday night, food, drinks, etc. Whatever you're doing, the show as well. The same again Sunday, you travel back. So yeah, now I'm probably going to do it a bit longer. Maybe go up on a Thursday, enjoy London for a bit. Maybe come back Monday. Yeah, we shall see. We shall see. I might venture out of London, break up that way, do like a halfway on Thursday, and do something, maybe Cotswolds or something. I don't know. I think that's halfway, but yeah, do Cotswolds and then break up a little bit, just enjoy a bit of time. So Scotland's gonna be cool. I'm gonna go do a bit of Scotland, and that'll be happening this coming week. Probably go down, trying to go around the Thursday again. It's a 2 days this one on Scotland, so 2 days. Sorry, Saturday and Sunday. In Glasgow and Edinburgh. So yeah, maybe hit Edinburgh first, then go to Glasgow and sort of finish it all the way. I don't know. We shall see. Be nice to do a bit of exploring of Scotland, a beautiful place. So that'll be nice. But this show, I want to talk about Fanatics first. I'm sure everyone's seen it over the last 2 days on your socials. It's been everywhere. It's been organically everywhere and also pushed down your face everywhere, I would love to know your thoughts. I've always been impressed with Fanatics Fest, and I've always said that it was going to be the one that's becomes one that people want to go to over the national, sort of the future grail, just because of the interaction. I know the national sort of upped it a little bit this last year. Getting them sort of people involved and getting newer sort of sellers involved, etc. Expanding that space. I see Fanatics evolved as well by now opening up more like trading cards stands. That makes sense. Actual sellers, buyers can get tables now, whereas last year was less so. It was more about the companies, and obviously Fanatics just showing off what they can do. I think that's obviously a massive plus. I think one of the reasons we obviously chase these cardboards around the globe, spending a lot of money, is because we want that sort of attachment to these people, right? So to have them there, granted, you don't have one there for myself, for instance. Patrick Mahomes is in there's a Travis Kelsey, that sort of stuff. But the likes of Tom Brady, CJ Stroud, there's other NFL players there. There's obviously last year they had the massive wrestling thing. This year, there's a similar thing with the wrestling, with the entrances and the hit Logan Paul stuff with the chair. But they just because they're in so many sports, they can just such a big pull. We've talked about this as well. Will there be one in the UK? I just think this. I mean, Tosin was over there ripping packs this year. It obviously coincides really well with the Club World Cup being over in America. I think I talked about this on the Friday episode of On a Lookout. The Messi card was up massively at the moment. I think it's one of the biggest rises for the last 14 days of all cards. Dollar-wise, not percentage-wise, dollar-wise, which is the important part to me. So, you can get some cards up by 10,000% because of a couple of dollars card. Now someone's selling for, a couple hundred because of the hype. But yeah, this one was up a lot cash-wise. It's going to be interesting how the national response, I'm going to say. They've already sort of put in place what they're doing for this one, right? So you sort of expected the same thing from Fanatics. Yes, obviously they cancelled the Florida and the Pittsburgh one that they were going to do, but you sort of knew what they were going to do in New York. It's sort of one of the places in it, New York, sort of one of the capitals of the world, as you will. Everyone wants to go there. Everyone wants to spend time there. Great locations like Javits and a massive centre. I was lucky enough to stay literally right next to that Hudson Yard when I was in America, in New York, and nice place. It's very very central. A lot of planes around it. I think a lot of hotels, obviously in New York, but good location. Nice part of town. The National had a lot of issues, but a bit of backlash over being Atlantic City, and there was a whole committee about it and making sure it was in certain places. And obviously it's in Chicago, which people like because of you have the hotels built into the center, so it's nice and easy. No issues there. Which obviously one thing that the New York Javits Center doesn't have. It's obviously hotels around. It's obviously just a lot of hotels on your doorstep, sort of across the road sort of scenario. So nothing major. And obviously there's hotels on the side of New York that people may stay in for money purposes or just because they want to explore the rest of New York. But at least you have the option to be close, extremely close with the Javits Centers. So there's quite a few hotels just across one road. So they're across a road. I'm pretty sure it was the end of our road. Obviously, I had to cross the road, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like the end of it, end of the road, cross that road, and there it was. I may be wrong by a block there. I don't know. I can't fully remember, but it was close anyway. So you obviously, if you're the national, you've already done sort of same place we're going to do for this one. So you're seeing what's going on this year at Fanatics Fest. You've got to be thinking about next year, what you're going to do, but also what they're going to do, and make sure that you're just as good. Because I think the national can't keep relying on it's the national. I think this is sort of what Ruben was saying when he says that this hobby hasn't really been advertised properly. So I think what we're going to do, and he's doing it right. He's advertising it to the masses. These people aren't just interested in or invested in cards. These people are invested in and interested in the sports. So their personalities there, they want to see them. And all of a sudden, cards, they're not a byproduct, but they're sort of like a gateway in some ways. Because it's not like they've got massive tops, cards, stands, stalls, shops there. You'll see the jerseys, right? They had the exclusive NFL X soccer jerseys. I know they had the Cactus Jack stuff, which was only for like if you were lucky with VIP ballots or something stuff like that. Shout out to the people buying them. I saw a few people literally in the queue buying them, and then as soon as you get out the queue, the next stand, Dave and Adams were buying them for just over double. When you buy them for $550, they were selling. You buy them for $550, they were buying them for $1,200. So $550 into $1,200 from literally just go in the queue and walk to the next stand. Can't beat what $700? Well, $700, $655 profit, $650. Yeah, crazy amount of profit just to stand in a queue. Especially for an hour or so, maybe a bit more. I don't know. I don't think it was a long. Like I don't think people were waiting a long time. It was a big queue, but I think it was like a 4 hour queue sort of thing. Even still, 4 hours for $550 prefer it maybe. You probably take right. Yeah, craziness. So yeah, fair play to everyone that was doing that. I heard other people were selling them, buying them as well. A bit more than that, 12. I think someone I did see a sale on social. I didn't see it personally. There was a sale on socials for $12.50. So I know it's for $50, but if you buy something for $5.50 and you sell it for $12.50, it's $700 profit. You know, cash in your pocket, right? Actually, $50 in your pocket is better than being on the table. So shout out to everyone who made that play. I think that was a smart play. Easy play, and again, it helps recuperate some of the money, right? Let's face it, $700 probably could have been maybe in your hotel for the 4, 5, 6 nights you were in New York. It may have been your flights from wherever you may have been. So that's one way to definitely bring that back down, which is a great way. Great way. I don't know if you. I mean, you're going to presume it was like per VIP. So if you were there with, your partner, your friend, etc., you can both go get involved with that. But that's again great way to recoup some money back. I haven't seen. I did check before. I haven't seen any of the Fanatics Fest. I don't say exclusive because I believe they are going to release them elsewhere. The Fanatics Fest sort of first or grand opening of the NFL X soccer shirts. I thought people would have got them up quick on eBay's social medias just to get that quick turnaround of the hype, the FOMO, cashing on that sort of thing. You list them up, and even if you just do it prior, you list people up saying, "Hey, I'm here. So if anyone wants to, it's this plus 20% finder's fee. So if it's $60, then it's you're paying an extra $12. $72 for someone to get a shirt for you. And they might say $12 finder's fee and then whatever shipping is, and you're like, okay, cool. It's $72 plus shipping. For a shirt is $60 right now. Don't get wrong, it probably was more than $6. It's just a guess. It will be interesting to see what it does retail at, and what it does retail at if it does come UK side, because I don't want it to be $60, for instance, and then £60. So yeah, it'll be interesting to do it as in it's a London store exclusive and do lots of nonsense, or will they just be on the website? But yeah, I'm definitely after that Chiefs jersey. I think that's a cool jersey. So I'm after that for sure. I think Bleecker, they do a lot with Fanatics Fest, and they always you can buy tickets through them. They were doing trade nights before, during, like the nighttime show, not like during the show, but before the show, night times, the evening times, after shows. I think Rough Cards teamed up with Staple Clothing Shop, and they did trade night before Fanatics Fest. They won, I believe. That looked kind of cool. There's like exclusive merch there as well. Kind of a cool little T-shirt, which is all right. Which I like that sort of thing, man. It's something we need to do more here in the UK. I think that'd be a cool look to get that sort of thing going. I think we might see it. I would love to team up with like Third Down, for instance. Do a something there one night before the Yorkshire Card Show, because they're local show to a shop sort of thing. They may be one closer. I don't know about that actually, but yeah, sort of stuff would be cool. Get it with the Leicester Card Show, obviously Triple C, right there. Leicester Card Show the day after, so that'd be kind of cool having a trade night. I know Triple C have opened a few times for people coming down or going down to London Card Show. If you're coming from North, they sort of do a trade night on the Friday night, which will also be interesting now because London Card Show is on Friday daytime, so more people might come down Friday daytime or potentially Thursday night. But yeah, it kind of rained to their parade a little bit there. I don't know what the closest show would be to Loughborough and Tradeway. I always thought Kaboom could have done something. I always thought they missed a trick massively. But, being in London, a lot of people are in London already. Some people, especially if you're not really from London, don't really know, like you sort of stay central London just because touristy bits after and during. So they sort of commute then from London into Esher, what you want to call it. So if it's probably a lot easier for them to get to Kaboom that Friday evening, meet the people. So, some people are like-minded people, maybe people that know the area better, know who they might know from Instagram, or they might know from wherever. I thought you missed a good trip there. The community, Sports Cards Direct and Sports Trading Cards UK, bit more different around there. Obviously, Kent and Plymouth, probably more difficult. But again, it's pretty good for the people that go in them sort of directions towards them shows. If it is London, for instance, or Milton Keynes, you could say. If you're going south, you could go there if it's on your way. Cardcon as well, I suppose. Farnborough, I don't know the difference between Farnborough, Kent, but Plymouth. But when especially Sports Card Direct sort of running the card show, they'd expect something. But it'd be nice to have that sort of stuff, like a good relationship between shops. Again, I'm just mentioning card shops because the people are in the hobby and with Rough Cards, obviously, the staple clothing brand. I mean, that's how cool is that? Clothing brand opened up and mixed in streetwear with cards. And it's basically, if you look at a lot of the videos nowadays from especially Americans, the kids, the younger generation that get into this purely for flipping. I'll say purely, it's a bit harsh, but they seem to flip more than they collect. It's a money making thing for them. They are obviously in the streetwear culture. They will see them in a lot of off-white, Fear of God clothing. They'll have, the latest Jordans, or it used to be Yeezys, but not so much anymore. Or maybe off-whites, or I would say Balenciagas, not so much, but they have the sort of a lot of Travis Scott's Jordans, Travis Scott's Nike, Travis Scott Jordans, that sort of stuff. But that sort of stuff. They'll have them Labubu's, so we called. The £12 fucking doll thing, little gremlin looking things that everyone's buying for like 40 quid because you can't get them because all the retailers out there sniping them first. They'll have all them attached to the backpack soon. But it's all these sort of, I don't say hype beasts, but maybe a lot of hype beasts have come over. The sneak hype beasts, because the sneakers scene isn't the same it used to be. But and obviously they are mixing the culture from day one, right? That's just their culture, and then our this culture. So it kind of makes sense that Rough Cards, he's I wouldn't say he's the most fashionable of guys personally, but it's kind of cool that he's done that and teamed up, and obviously had merch with him, but also got people in there, and I think it was like Korean food being served there. It was just a cool vibe. It'd be cool if something like that happened here. I don't know who the most stylish person is. I think a lot of people think, damn, Sports Educator is quite stylish dude, right? He's got a good style for Dan, 100%. Like, he rocks his fashion well. Like, he has that confidence in himself, right? To just rock random stuff, which is cool for him. I'm a bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? More less adventurous, more straight down the middle, Oversized tee, Nirvana. Let's go. Kid. MTV Live Lounge right there. Use like an overshirt or a hoodie, some joggers. Comfort and stops fashion fatigue, right? So I'm waking up thinking, what I'm going to wear today? What's he go with? I do like training. I have cut down my trainers a lot, and I have moved into just a few different colorways now of trainers. Obviously, for brand purposes, it's just the Adidas Patrick Mahomes FLX ones and other twos, but I don't have many twos. I've got a lot of ones. I've got like 9 pairs of ones, so all the different colorways of ones. I think I'm only missing like 2 or 3 colorways of the ones. I don't have pair of twos. I'm probably going to pick up a couple of pairs while they're on offer at the moment. Maybe one or two. I missed out on the black pair. Black pair chains are always a go. I always think black and then just like a colour to mix them up. So yeah, I will get maybe the red one off at the moment. So maybe I get them. But yeah, just a nice pair. They have just released on UK. I think the Texas Tyler ones are kind of navy blue, which is nice. It's like the golf ones they did, white with a bit green on. It's like, oh, I just don't know what I'd rock them with too much. So I use another colourway or purple. Yeah, I wasn't too keen. But the red ones are nice. Red ones, I missed out on black ones, and then I'll wait for the threes. Hopefully, the threes will come out soon. We can dream. We can dream. But yeah, I've sort of stuck to that sort of stuff at the moment. Makes it easy for me. Keeps the brand on point. But maybe we should go for a name change. Or do you reckon? Get rid of the Patrick Mahomes, become something else. Be like JJ Cards and become that card. That's kind of cool. Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time. We shall see. But anyway, we digress. We digress back to Fanatics Fest. I'm very intrigued to know your thoughts. Is seeing the footage, the content of the last two Fanatics Fest made you want to go to Fanatics Fest more than go to the National? I always say that National's always been a mecca. I think a lot of people think of going to the National, it's like a big thing. Like, oh, I'll just go 1 year. Is that now going to be replaced by Fanatics Fest? I will say Fanatics Fest New York. I don't know if, I mean, they obviously said about there'll be different sort of scales, different sort of things going on at the Florida one, the Pittsburgh one. And I do think they'll move it around. I think the next one that would be like New York would be LA if they would do one on the West Coast. I think that's when it will be like, yeah, that could be mental. But I think New York will be the new mecca for now, unless they start doing an LA one consistently and do the same sort of thing. I don't think the smaller ones that they'll do will have that sort of desire. I think it'll still be like desirable, especially if you're local or you're not too far from areas. If you're close to Pittsburgh, etc. I don't think it'll be like. I think I'll be like, oh yeah, just gotta go. I just don't know if there'll be people wanting to go from all over the world. Whereas with New York, with LA, I think there'll be that pull because of the glitz and glamour, how big it is, what they're doing. So yeah, I personally think Fantasy Press will take over the national in some capacity. As that mecca, I think it's probably more affordable as well if you're outside of the US to fly to New York than it is to fly to Chicago. I may be wrong. I'm just going off sort of distance really, but being so close. For us in the UK, it's 5-6 hour flight. I'm sure we flew back from New York pretty fast because of the winds. I think like it's a bit slower there. Maybe it's like 7 there, but you can fly back in like 6. I'm just like, I'm sure it's like 5 hours 45. It was crazy. But yeah, I think the national. I don't think it's moving for next couple of years. I do think it's Chicago. Is it Chicago, then somewhere else? Or Chicago, Atlanta? So it's not, I can't remember the full fixtures. I know they have like a 3 or 5 year sort of fixture plan to, I think it was smart, the little board they put together, especially with currently like Card Collector 2 and stuff like that. But yeah, they just don't have that pull, do they? The player to fan engagement. I think that could be a big downside. I don't want to say downside. It's just a harder thing to overcome, right? If you're from outside the US, I suppose if you're in the US and it costs money to go to these places, are you going to want to go to the national? Potentially see. I think this year's Giannis's first year, and it's like like a list of regulars, right? I think is it TriStar that bring these sort of like veterans, legends of the game. Sorry, whatever. If you think veterans are disrespectful to these people, down, or would you want to go to Fanatics Fest and be there with current stars, legends of the game, from all sports entertainment as well, with the wrestling side thing? I don't know. I just think that had a massive pull, and people get quite close to these people. Good photo, video range. there's good interaction. There's obviously the sport things going on. There's I don't know. Just think Fanatics Fest is here to take over. But I would love to know your thoughts. Do you think that National always hold that grail status because it is the National? Is it kind of like owning the Honus Wagner card? Is it up there? Is it up there with the Mickey mantle? Like no matter what, like we may never seen him play, but there's something about that card, right, that makes it so iconic in the card hobby. Will that be the same thing with the National? I'm intrigued to see. Love some of your thoughts. Obviously, as I would always say, as a little side piece, I was a fan of my local sort of vintage card fairs. Don't neglect those bad boys. Yes, it's not the same, you know, in size and celebrities, but what you'll find there, the treasure, for instance, is invaluable, and the atmosphere is just as good. I'm not gonna lie, it's really good. It's good. Obviously, I don't think to say it's not as electric, but the good atmosphere, great people looking to share a lot of knowledge. So yeah, there's that. There is them. But it's another episode, just like that. Hope everyone is well. Again, on the lookout. We'll be out Friday. It may be a slight issue because of obviously traveling to the Scotland Card Show, but yes, everything should be fine. Obviously, I like to on the lookout quite. You try and do it on a Thursday night, Friday morning, just so we're kind of up to date when it's released Friday, with like sales and data. I might try and do a pod at the Scotland Card Show to watch Jordan. I don't know if it's going to be there quiet to do like a local room somewhere, but yeah, there's nothing to stage there. I can do like a live one, but there'll be a pod out on Mondays always. Touch wood, or that coffee table there, the unreal coffee table. But yes, thanks for listening, guys, as always. Until next week, take care. Peace.